What's going on, Wired fam? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm stuffing my face with goodies. Sitting here waiting on 9 o'clock. I got hungry. Hey, let me tell y'all something. If you hadn't eaten these, don't eat them. You can't eat one. You eat the whole bag. They're good. They're very good. And they're bad for you. Good. I like them. What's everybody into tonight? Let's see. What is today? December the 30th. I'm telling you, I'm going to eat these the whole show. I got a whole bag full. I'm about to wear them out. That and my girly drink. I got my girly drink. My dog's barking. I'm a Starbucks. What's up? We're good to go. We're going to get sugared up, caffeined up, and we're going to be able to stay on here 2 hours. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's see. Who do we have on tonight? Guys, if you don't care, if you don't mind, say hello when you get on. Drop me a hello line. Comment. Make me a little comment. Tell me where you're from. I like to know where we're reaching. I like to be able to say hello back to you guys, okay? I don't know if you're on and you don't comment, I don't know you're here. So I can't say hello. And I like to say hello to everybody. I'm a people person. I like saying hello. I like taking the time out of the live to tell you guys thanks for coming, right? So make sure you say hello when you get on. Let's see who we got tonight. Jimmy Pratt, hello. Ashley, what's up? Heidi Clark, Tom A., Ron Hall, Daryl Quarles, Chad Hillard, and Big O, Clarks Hill Lake, Georgia. Man, Clarks Hill. I got to get to Clarks Hill. Like, there's so many places I got to get to. But I've got to get to Clarks Hill. There's some giants on Clarks Hill. Clarks Hill's kind of a different lake because don't they, unless I'm mistaken it for a different lake, don't they, so the dam actually pushes water both ways. It actually pushes downstream and then pulls back. Is that right, Clarks Hill? They actually pull out and push in, I think, from the same dam. It's kind of weird how they do that. But anyway, I think that's Clarks Hill, Big O, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's not. Somewhere down there around Clarks Hill. Making waves. Hello from Texas. Hello. Larry Merrick, what's up? Josh Sanders, good evening. Larry McBride, howdy. Aaron Recht from Riceville. Hey, Aaron, how's it going, buddy? Ronnie Harris from Carrollton, Georgia, home of the best barbecue joint in Georgia. Well, anywhere I've eaten anyway. Let's see. What are we going to talk about tonight? Let's talk about this last week. Let's talk a little bit about the fishing. So East Tennessee, we got 6 inches of snow Christmas Eve and Christmas morning. So we had a white Christmas in East Tennessee, which the last white Christmas I remember was actually 2010. So I'm told by my wife, and I vaguely remember it. But 2010, I believe, was the last white Christmas that we had. So it was really cool to have a white Christmas this year. It kind of capped the year off in a good way, I think, and we are ready for the new year. So hope everybody had a good Christmas. Hope you got what you were looking for, what you were asking for. I did. My wife and my boys got me a spray and bed liner for my truck. So I was really happy about that. I've wanted to spray the bed for a while, and they got me a spray and bed liner. So I went Monday and had that sprayed in by Phoenix Conversions in Knoxville, and they did a fantastic job. So if you're in East Tennessee area and you're looking for a spray and bed liner, Phoenix Conversions did a fabulous job on my truck. I paid the exact same that you guys would, but I like to let you guys know when I meet good people and have good service. So they did a good job. Took them a little longer than they told me it was going to because I was actually sitting and waiting on it, and I sat there for half a day. But anyway, nonetheless, very, very good people and did a good job on the truck. So I was happy about that. And thank you to my wife and my boys for my bed liner, because now my truck looks really good in the back. I like it. Let's see. I see some new people on. Joseph Thaxton from Macon. Hello. Harold Stamey from Rockwood. Hello. Stephen Askew. Yeah, that's right. Askew from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Slab Buster. What's up? Tyler Key. Hello. David Smith from Crossville, Tennessee. Hello, David. So, all right. Like I said, it snowed over Christmas, about 6 inches that we got in East Tennessee, or my part of East Tennessee where I live. So, was hoping to fish New Year's Eve, did not fish New Year's Eve. And of course, Christmas did not go. It was down to like 20. I didn't want to take the chance going and putting the boat in and try to fish. So actually waited until Saturday, which it was manageable Saturday. It was not bad. The ramp was good. There was still some ice, but it wasn't too bad. The road still had some ice on them. I mean, we're talking temperatures down in the 20s, low 20s. I think it got down in the teens one night. So the water temps they just absolutely tanked. Water temps dropped down to 40. I saw 41, and that was Loudon. I fished Loudon, and it was 40, 41. So some of these other clearer lakes were probably even colder than that. So there's a huge swing in temperature. And the fish fished like there was a huge swing in temperature. I mean, they were very lethargic. They were glued to the bottom. You really had to get a bait in front of them and just hold it. You had to be patient. But if you, but if you got a bait in front of the fish, they would hit it. Okay. So caught a lot of fish, fished for about 4 hours, and I don't know, caught 30 or 40 fish, something like that. And actually, some of you guys may know this guy, and you may not. Let me see. See if somebody can tell me who this guy is. Hang on just a second. Let me get a picture up here. Who can tell me who that guy is? Anybody? Anybody tell me who that guy is? Let's see if anybody guesses. Anybody that I haven't talked to already this week? Anyway, I know all my comments are always behind, so we'll wait and see if anybody guesses who that is. But had a great trip. Really enjoyed fishing Loudon while there was snow on the ground. It was absolutely beautiful to get out there and see that snow on the lake. You know, you get out there and you fish those lakes all the time, and then to go out there when there's snow on the ground, everything's white. It's just really, really cool to see all those hills and all the homes. No, it was not T. Martin, Daryl. Not T. Martin. Somebody knows who that is. Come on now. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Had a good time and caught a lot of fish and some good fish. Obviously, you saw the picture. I'll show it to you again. I'll show it to you again. There you go, guys. So caught some good fish, caught some small fish too, but very good time, very good day, and really enjoyed it. So that was my fishing. I mean, for the weekend anyway. Most of the fish were caught on a jiffy jig, actually, and we fished with jiffy jigs because a slab buster. Dang, I was going to tell him roll tide. No, it wasn't anybody from Alabama. Getting close, though, getting warmer. Bo Jackson, Blaine says. No, Blaine, it is not Bo Jackson, my friend. No. Slab Buster says don't, or Heath says don't know. I'm not sure. I see if anybody guesses it. I'll tell you what. The first person to guess who that was, and we'll show that picture several times, we're going to give away an injector pin, an Easy Drift ejector pin. You can load these up with your favorite nibbles and inject it into your baits. Okay, so the first one to guess who that was gets one of these pins. And Jimmy Pratt, you're not entered into this because I already told you who it was. So Jimmy, don't cheat, Jimmy. Jimmy already knows who it was. Anyway, first one to guess who that picture was. It was not Hook City, Joseph. Sorry. I'll show it one more time. Come on, guys. Y'all got to be observant. Come on now. Let's see. I still got my Christmas stuff up. I guess you guys can see that. We still got the Christmas stuff in the background, but it's still Christmas time. Not till New Year's. Not even that till New Year's, right? Anyway, Cowboy Roy. No, it does kind of look like Cowboy Roy, doesn't it? It is not Cowboy Roy. Slab Buster says Cowboy Roy, not him. I don't see it yet. All right, so yeah, we caught most of our fish on a Jiffy Jig. Actually, let's see if I got one here that's the right color. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to say it was a red. That one right there, that red and chartreuse. And then we also caught some on that white and chartreuse Jiffy Jig. Those are the two that we used the most. The reason we used Jiffy Jigs is because I actually left my jig head box at home after showing you guys. I had it in my office, and I never put it back in the boat, and I left it at home. So I didn't have any jig heads with me. And we had to use something that had a jig head. So out popped the Jiffy Jigs with the jig heads already on them, thank the Lord. And yeah, so that's what we used Saturday on Loudness. 16th ounce. We also used some 24ths, but mostly 16ths. Fished anywhere from 15 to 25 feet. Tried to look for those deeper fish that were a little less affected by the temperature change. He says Cam Crappie hole. Nope. Blaine says, who makes the injector pin? The injector pin is actually made by Easy Drift. Okay. It's Easy Drift Trolling Systems. That's who makes those injector pins. They're really, really cool, Blaine. So check them out. Easy Drift. They make a great product. They also make the bait pin that you've seen me wear before, guys, that actually goes on your neck. And I want to say they have some of these at Crappie Cove in Maryville as well. That's the Easy Drift bait pin. That's the bait pin that goes around your neck. You load your nibbles into it, and you can put your nibbles on your hook. You guys know I'm not a believer in scent. I'm sorry. I don't believe that nibble helps one iota for scent, but I do believe the color and the profile change does help, okay? It adds profile to your jig, and it adds color to your jig. So there's that. Jackie Jordan says he's a coach at UT. That's close, okay? Jackie, you're on the right track, but he is not a coach at UT, okay? But you are on the right track. So, yeah, that's all I'm giving. That's all I'm giving right now. Slabbuster says, give us some hints, man. I just gave you one. Jackie Jordan is on the right track, but no, not UT, not a coach. All right. Laura, living life with Laura. That's my beautiful wife, guys. She says, I know. Well, you don't get the bait pin either because you already know who it is. Slapbuster says, Derek Ansley. Nope, not Derek Ansley. Jimmy, easy. Jimmy said, I give a hint. Easy, Jimmy. Jimmy knows who it is, too. Anyway. All right. So, yeah, Jiffy Jigs is what we caught our fish on. For those of you who don't know who Jiffy Jig is, they're out of Vidalia, Georgia. He makes a really, really good bait. It really is something special. So it's actually kind of a mix between a hair jig and let's see if I can get that in there where you can see it. It's a mix between a hair jig and a plastic. So it's got kind of a plastic body and then the hair coming out the tail. He's got them in all different colors, all different sizes, all different, tails and bodies and heads. And they'll actually do specialty stuff too if you call. So, if you ain't fishing with Jiffy Jigs, you just ain't fishing, right? That's what their slogan is. And then here's their information. If you guys want to holler at them, that's Jiffy Jigs in Vidalia, Georgia. So there's all their info right there. Okay. But yeah, so when you leave your jig heads at home and you can't fish with your stump bugs, there's your go-to. Very good product. There again. It is a really, really cool. Tom A says Vince Morrow. Nope, not Vince Morrow, Tom. Sorry. But yeah, Jiffy Jigs are a great product. So had fun fishing with them and had a good day fishing with them. But that was my experience on Loudon this last weekend. Did you guys fish any? Did anybody fish any this past weekend? I know Christmas break crazy for most people. But anybody out there fishing any? So let's see. I got some comments over here. Laura says Jimmy gave the best hint. You guys are trying to give it away. Trying to give it away. All right. So, again, water temps were extremely low. Let's see. East Tennessee Crappie Club has got a tournament coming up January the 16th, which will be on Chickamauga. So I will be spending some time on Chick here in the next couple weeks. Probably going to go down there, hoping to go down there sometime this week. It's been very hectic for me through the holidays and trying to get lined up and get to the hook to the boat and get away on the water has been tough. So took my son squirrel hunting. For those that did not see my post on that, I went squirrel hunting yesterday. Took my son, my oldest son, and let me tell you, he's deadly with a 410 now. Let's see, there he is. So there's a few squirrels that we got yesterday. Had a really, really good time. So spent some time in the woods instead of on the water, which was nice. There they are. It was nice to take him out and just spend some time outdoors, change of pace, and get him out. A lot of times it's hard to get kids on the water when it's cold. When it's real cold out, it's difficult, right? They don't want to get out there on the water in the wind. So I try to get them out there and do stuff that's a little off the wall, right? Take them deer hunting, take them squirrel hunting. You get out there and walk around in the woods. You don't necessarily notice how cold it is. So we had a good time. I'll remember that day for a while. We chased squirrels around. My gosh, we chased one squirrel around from between 14 trees. He'd run up a tree and he'd shoot at it, and he'd run over the next tree. He'd shoot at it. And we chased that squirrel all over the place before we finally got him, but it was a blast. So, anyway, gonna try to get down to the Chick here soon. Start pre-fishing there, and once we get down there, we'll get some more footage. I'm looking forward to it. The fishing down there is so good. Last time I was down there, I think Blake and I were down there last time I was down there and caught like 175. Just no giants. I mean, we just did not find the big fish, but it doesn't seem like anybody's found the big fish down there this year. Chick has got a lot of fish in it, but it's just lacking larger fish. But we'll see. We'll go down there and see if we can't find some bigger ones. We need them. We need 7 for the tournament. So that will be what's going on with me here in the next little bit. Jimmy says Sunday at Watts Bar. So Jimmy went Sunday at Watts Bar. David says Mark Stools. No, it's not Mark Stools. Vince Morrow. Nope. Let's see. Jeff says bought a fishing specialty pole under your name. That's awesome, Jeff. I'm glad you saved some money. Guys, if you don't know, Fishing Specialties is a partner with the channel. They give you guys 10% off. If you call Fishing Specialties and say, I want a pole for my live scope, and tell them you want the wired discount, they will give you 10% off on your Fishing Specialties poles, okay? That is the pole that my live scope transducer is on that you guys see me use. It's a very, very, very high quality, good product. I would recommend that pole to anyone who's looking for a pole. It's easy, it's lightweight, it's stow and deploy, it's a breeze, and it turns effortlessly. It's just a great pole. So wired will get you 10% off at Fishing Specialties. Glad you saved some money, Jeff. That's really good, buddy. Sarge is in the house. What's up, Chris? He says, y'all hit the like button. Yeah, guys, if y'all don't mind, smash that like button for me. If you like the content, let everybody know it's good content, guys. Smash that like button. That way YouTube and everybody else knows that it's good content, okay? Heath McDaniel says it's hard to get me on the water when it's cold. Yeah, getting out there in the early mornings when it's cold ain't fun sometimes. Sometimes I got to force myself to get up and get out of bed too. So yeah, it's tough when it's cold, especially with kids. So, I don't take the boys a whole lot in the winter. We try to do other things where, we're close to the heater or have a heater in the blind or something like that where I can keep their temperature regulated a little bit better. It's just more enjoyable for the kids when, they're not, Dad, I'm freezing, or Dad, I'm hot, or Dad, there's kind of a good time to get those kids out, and I try to take advantage of that. I don't want them to have miserable experiences because then they won't want to go back. So, Curtis, what's up, Curtis? Says went to Blackshear Monday. Slow but a wonderful day to be fishing. Water temps 46. Fish were deep. Yeah, that's what we saw too, Curtis. Those water temperatures need to come back up a little bit. We need some good warm days. Then we'll get that. We'll get some warmer weather, and it'll warm the water temps back up. Those water temps get back up there around 48 to 50, and they'll get rocking again. We just need some consistent weather. There's huge swings like that 6 inches of snow. Just kind of bogs everything down for a day or two, but they'll get back. DeAndre Square from Kentucky. Close, but no. Nope. Close, but no. Ashley says, was you able to get him to help clean them? I never liked cleaning them. Squirrels. No, he wasn't having any of that. No, he was not having it. That's for sure. Herb says, hey, when are you coming back to the Hartwell? Lake Hartwell, I guess is what you mean, Herb. Lake Hartwell, I'm not sure when I'll be coming back to Lake Hartwell. It will be It will be soon, probably, but I'm not exactly positive when. I know East Tennessee Crappie Club will not have their members trip there next year. Seems like every year we have it at Lake Hartwell, something goes wrong. And I think this year was it for me. I don't think we'll go back to Hartwell next year. I think it'll be something, some other lake. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Jamin Davis. Nope. Nope. Not him. Aaron Rex says DeAndre Square, Kentucky. Nope. Close, but nope. He says 2 inches of rain for this week. I think it's supposed to rain here tomorrow and Friday, I think. I do not know how much. I just briefly looked at the weather today because I was going to try to get out. And I just looked at the percentages. I did not look at how much rain it is, and that's going to be fun. That means they'll be moving water next week and probably this weekend. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm pulling it up right now to take a look. I have not. I know it's 80% on Friday, so Friday is going to be a washout. Doesn't tell me how much. Yeah, it doesn't tell me how much. It just says chance of rain 70% and chance of rain 90%. So that's fun. 80%. So yeah, it's going to rain, but that's okay. Let's see. Lynn Bowden Jr. No, it's not Lynn Bowden Jr. Landon Young or Cash Daniel? Nope. Ahmad Wagner? Nope. You guys are getting out there. Karen H. from Chicago. What's going on, Karen? All right, nobody's guessed this yet. Let me throw this picture back up there again. See if anybody else guesses it, or anybody guesses it. Let's see. Where'd it go? There it is. I'll zoom in a little closer. How's that? Can you guys see that? Is there a glare on there? No, maybe. There we go. Anybody see that? Can you see it now? Come on. Randall Cobb. Nope, not Randall Cobb, Seth. Chris Oates. Nope. Slabbuster says, Jimmy, it's a flooding rain. A washout. Washout's a flooding rain, yeah. Slabbuster says, dang, give me somebody from Alabama. Yeah. Dustin DeWin says, I don't even know the question. We know it now. Who's that person I just showed, Dustin? Is that Blake Hawk? No, it's not Blake Hawk. Jeez. Hey, speaking of giveaways, guys, has everybody went to the giveaway video and liked the video, shared the video, or shared a video and sent an email to info@wiredforcrappie to get entered into that giveaway? So if you haven't, go to the last video that we shared on the page. Look at that or watch that video. It tells you how to get entered. We're giving away a ton of stuff free. We're going to draw 2 names and we're going to send that out to you guys. We will draw for that on New Year's Day. Okay, so you only have a couple more days to get entered. You can still enter on New Year's Day, but New Year's Day, that evening, we will go live. It'll probably be 9 o'clock. We will go live and we will draw 2 names for that giveaway. So if you haven't got entered for that yet, please, please, please go watch that video. It tells you how to enter for it and get entered before New Year's Day. Okay, guys? Derrick Henry. Nope, not Derrick Henry. Aaron says, I don't have a clue. Bo Jackson played at Auburn. Jackie Jordan. I know that face, but can't put a name with it. I only saw one famous guy in that picture, and that was Matt Zenas. No, come on now. Be like that. Cam. No, not Cam David. All right. If somebody doesn't get it here in a minute, I'll give it to you guys. But I won't give it to you. I'll start giving clues. How's that? If somebody doesn't get it here in a minute. So, all right. So, yeah, I'm going to start hitting Chickamauga. Don't know really what to expect down there. Been down, like I said, the last couple of times I was down there, the areas I fished were full of fish. I mean, absolutely full of fish, but they were all small fish. And most of the time they had lockjaw. So, you pull up to a spot, you'd look at your live scope, you'd see 150 fish or 200 fish, and you could only get 3 or 4 to bite. Now, that's kind of typical live scope, okay, guys? So when you get your live scope and you're looking at fish and you say, man, why can I not get these fish to bite? That's kind of typical for crappie. When they get in those large schools, they just don't want to eat, okay? You're better off to find those 6 or 8 or 10 that are more apt to eat, that are outside of the brush, that are roaming around, that are kind of to themselves. Those are feeding fish. Those are active fish. Those fish that are in those big, huge, tight balls, a lot of times you can get them fired, or sometimes you can get them fired up and you can get them feeding, but most of the time they're in that negative pattern. That's why they're grouped up and bunched up, and they're in that negative pattern. They're not going to feed. So if you get on that, move, leave. Don't stay there on those fish. Go find fish somewhere else. Try to find those active fish, okay, guys? And that's what I found a lot of last time I was on the Chick is just a lot of large groups of fish that just did not want to eat. So we're going to move around a lot. We're going to hit a lot of different areas. I'm going to fish. My goal is to fish from one end of that lake to the other. And when I say from one end to the other, for those that know Chickamauga, I'm talking we're going to fish from the dam to the dam. I mean, we're gonna move everywhere, and that includes up the Hiwassee River. I'm gonna try to go down there at least 3 days before the tournament, and I'm going to fish that entire lake. Okay. Right now, my partner and I are in the lead for Angler of the Year. We're gonna try to keep it that way. If we can. If not, we can't. But if we can, we're gonna try to keep it that way. So we're gonna try to do our best to get out there and do our homework and figure out where those larger fish are. And I think we can do it. That lake has haunted me for years. Chickamauga has been, I can go down there and I can catch 200 fish in a day easy. No problem. I can go down there and catch all the fish you want to eat in a day. But to go down there and catch 7 that'll compete in a tournament, I have struggled with going down there and catching 7 big fish. So I'm going to pull off, I think, everything I've ever learned or everything I ever know on that lake, and I'm going to completely do something different. So we will see how that works, and we will go from there, okay? But hopefully it'll work well. And if it doesn't, we can go back to plan A, or we can go back to, what I know, and we can hope for 7 big fish. But we're going to change the way that we fish that lake, and I'm going to do that from one end to the other, and we're going to figure something out. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to video a lot of it and probably release a lot of it. So, for those that plan on fishing with us in that event, you'll have a leg up, I guess. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's see. What do y'all got? Aaron says, fished Hiwassee Monday and got skunked. Wow. That's tough, Aaron. What parts of the Hiwassee did you fish? And how were you trying to catch them? Were you trolling, or were you single poling, or what were you doing? Richard Berger, hello from Maryville. Hello, Richard. Hope you're doing well. You guys ready for the new year? I'm ready for a new year. I don't know about you guys, but this year, I'm done with this year. This year's been horrible. I'm ready for something new. Now, I don't know if it's going to be different or not, but I'm ready to call it something different. Karen says, how's Rusty and the cat? Blitzen. Blitzen is her name. Getting along. So, yeah, update on Rusty and Blitzen. They are coexisting in the house. Rusty, Blitzen will absolutely scratch the crap out of Rusty if he gets close enough. She will hold her own. But if she turns her back on Rusty, he has tried to go at her a couple times. He has not been successful, but he will try. I've known that. I've learned that. So they're doing better. They're starting to get closer together. They're starting to be more comfortable getting, before, if they were in the same room, one of them was growling or hissing. Now they're sitting 5 feet apart and they're not growling or hissing. They're getting to where they're getting closer and getting more comfortable with one another. So, they're doing good. They're doing real well. Thank you for asking, Karen. I appreciate it. Aaron says, I want to go out with you, Matt. Well, you're more than welcome to. I do run a guide service. I do guide some, not as much as I'd like to, but I do guide some. I have open dates on the website. So if you guys want to take advantage of that, you can go onto the website, www.wiredforcrappie.com, and you can look at my available dates. You can send me messages. We can talk back and forth, and we can figure out what date works best for you. And all my rates and everything are on the website as well. So if you guys are interested in that, also the merchandise, hoodies, shirts, hats, cups, toboggans, that's all on the website as well. Pricing's all on there. So if you guys are interested in any of the merchandise, wiredforcrappie.com is where you guys can see that. So if you want to go out sometime, Aaron, we can do it. We can set up something. I'd be more than happy to, buddy. Just hit me up on the website, okay? Oliver Sarr. Nope, not Oliver Sarr. Joe Williams. Nope, not Joe Williams. Larry Merrick says, careful at the high wildlife area. The Hiwassee wildlife area, you cannot fish this time of year. I think it does not open back up. For those that don't know that, the Hiwassee Wildlife Refuge from 58 Bridge to the Tennessee River, you cannot fish due to it being a wildlife refuge. You cannot get outside the buoys, but you can run inside the buoys, Larry. So if you're running, from 58 Bridge down to the island, you can run the buoys. You just can't get outside of the buoy markers. Okay. That's a sandhill crane thing. Sandhill cranes come through, and that's their migration pattern takes them right down through there. So they will not allow you to get outside of the buoy markers this time of year. And I think it opens back up March, first week of March, I think is what it opens back up. David Strickland, hello from Kerr Lake, a.k.a. Bugs Island, Virginia. What's going on, David? No, not Terry Wilson Jr. Lynn Bowden? No, not Lynn Bowden. Did he play for UT? Jackie Jordan says. No, he did not play for UT. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. He did play football, but not for UT. Aaron says, from 58 Bridge to B&B Marina, Cork and Jig, and Minners. Man, that's hard to believe you guys got skunked up through there. There's a ton of crappie up through there. It was tough. I mean, the weather pattern that we were dealt with, that snow, it was tough. It's tough fishing for a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that fished during that period, and it was tough fishing. So, Randy Moss. Nope, not Randy Moss. Guys, just, all right, hint. Stop thinking players and start thinking coaching staff, okay? Larry McBride says, my New Year's resolutions, fish, fish, fish. That's pretty good. Let's see. Ashley says, Matt, I've couple times when the dams are pulling water through them, creating current. That's a factor I never considered. How do the fish react differently when the dams are pushing a lot of water through? It's a very, very good question, Ashley. So let's talk about, because East Tennessee lakes are actually reservoirs created by dams, right? So basically, every lake in East Tennessee, with the exception of, well, no exception of any, they're all reservoirs created by dams, except for Reelfoot. Reelfoot isn't, but that's way out West Tennessee. Let's keep it in East Tennessee, and so they're all reservoirs created by dams, right? TVA flooded years ago. They built dams, flooded the river. Long story short, took a lot of land from people, told people we're going to flood it, get over it, move on, pretty much. There's a whole story behind that, but I won't go into that tonight. It's pretty neat. You guys want to read anything about that, you can go back and read about that, how they just kind of told people we're flooding the lake, get over it. Anyway, they're created by dams, but basically at the end of the day, it's a river system. You're fishing a river system. You're fishing the Tennessee River, and they're all river chain lakes, and the lakes are affected, fish are affected by current. So to answer Ashley's question with current being a factor is when they're pulling water, a lot of times on a lot of bodies of water in East Tennessee, that current will pull fish into the creeks, or push fish, I guess you should say. Not necessarily pull, but push them out of the main river channel into the creeks. Now, will it push them all the way back to the back of the creeks? No, but it will push those fish out of that main current. So if you've ever been on an East Tennessee reservoir when they were pulling 65 to 66,000 cubic feet a second, and you've driven your boat, you think, oh, I'm going to go out of this creek and go across the lake, and you drive out to the main river, and then you can literally feel your boat being pulled while you're driving across, and you're looking at the bank, and you're sliding down the bank this way, but you're driving straight because the water's pulling so fast. I've done that multiple times, and it is a weird feeling, let me tell you. So what happens, Ashley, is the fish will look for those current breaks. They will set up in those eddy areas. They will set up in those current break areas. And some things, one of the best crappie fishermen that's ever picked up a pole, Ronnie Capps and Steve Coleman, two of the best crappie fishermen that have ever picked up a crappie rod, okay, used to take 2x12s. And if those of you that follow Ronnie Capps, you know he's a diver. and he would take 2x12s on some of these rivers, and he would take them and he'd take them down in the river, and he'd put them, where the current was hitting the big side of the board, and he would drive them down into the mud, okay? And they would fish behind those boards in the river when the current was flowing. They'd get right up beside that board and they'd fish right behind it, and they'd catch fish that were sitting behind that board using it as a current break, okay? A lot of people probably haven't heard that story. I got that story firsthand from him one day, but they would take 2x12s and drive them down in the mud in the rivers to use them as current breaks, and would catch fish all the time. That was way back before even GPS came out for electronics. But anyway, any type of structure that creates a current break or an eddy area will hold fish. All right. Now, when they're pulling 60, 70,000 through the dam, a lot of times those small structures, they're going to be so blown out, they're not going to hold fish. There'll be such a whirl behind those that, the fish won't hold on them. But let's talk about what they will hold on. Let's talk about those points, those main channel points going into creeks that will hold fish. They create an eddy. So, you've got your point, that water comes down and it rolls around behind and spins, creates an eddy area, okay, coming around that point. Fish will stack up on the back side of those, okay, in that slack water, to where they are not affected by that current. But what they can still do is they can still set right out there on that point. And as those bait fish come down through there, and it pushes those bait fish around, because that current rolls around that point and it flips those bait fish in there, the fish can sit there still and ambush bait fish as they roll around that point. So they're still able to feed. They're not having to work themselves like a dog to hold in current. A lot of times on those main lake points, you can catch a bunch of fish when they're pulling the water, okay? Now, those points, there's also main lake points, okay? So you got those primary points. This is your first point going into a creek, but you've also got main lake points. Any type of islands out on the main lake, any type of flats that come up. Chickamauga is flat city this time of year. I mean, you get outside the buoys on Chickamauga and you've got 5 feet from the buoy to the mouth of the creek, and then it drops off into the creek, right? Chickamauga is horrible about that. I tell everybody, if you get outside the buoys in the winter on Chickamauga, idle until you get into the creek. Once you get into the creek, it drops back off, boom, you can go. But there's stumps and all kinds of stuff out there on those flats in between the creek mouths and the channel. And they are shallow this time of year. So keep in mind that some of that can create a break in the current as well, and the fish can stack up behind those or on those points right there as well. So it's not necessarily going to be that primary point at the mouth of a creek. It's just going to be some type of structure, some type of point or flat or little island that creates that break in the current, okay? So a lot of times when they're pulling like that, I will spend most of my days in the creeks, because a lot of those fish are not going to sit out there and fight that current. Some will, but they're just not going to do it. They're going to find those eddy areas and those current breaks. And I love fishing eddy areas and current breaks. I know if Greg Moses is on here, he does it a ton. The best, probably the place that I have seen that work the best, okay, is probably Chick. And the area that works the best in is probably up the river. From the dam to the Hiwassee is where that pattern or technique works the best on a true river that only has these little pockets and these little inlets and these little feeder creeks that come into the river. When they're spilling out of the dam, the fish don't have anywhere else to go. They have to find those little pockets and those little eddies and those little breakwaters that they can stack up in. And I'm telling you guys, there has been days when you go down there and look in some of those little areas, and you can find thousands of fish stacked up in these little areas. Now, I will say this. A lot of times they have to be pulling the current right for you to get bit in those areas. Because a lot of times when you pull up on those areas, there's fish there, but if that current's not right, they're not feeding. So fishing a river is, completely different than fishing just a main lake. There's a main body of water that doesn't have any movement, like a real foot. Okay. Real foot has a spillway, but that's just when the lake gets up above, a certain pool, it starts spilling. There's nothing that dictates the current in that lake. So when you're fishing someplace that isn't dictated by power, which is TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority uses our lakes to generate power. So they're influx and outflux of water into those reservoirs on a daily basis. They're spilling in and then they're dumping out, creating energy. When you're fishing those lakes that don't have that flux, fish are very consistent. They're very consistent with where they're setting up, how they're fishing, how the lake's fishing. They vary day to day on a lot of our lakes. Take Melton Hill, for instance. You go to Melton Hill and they start spilling water, the fish will turn on like that. And you can sit there and you can catch fish all day long, just bam, 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 bam. But when they turn the water off, it stops. The bite will absolutely stop because that current, the fish aren't feeling that current flow. They don't have a real advantage over the bait fish. They're not setting up in those eddy areas and on those current breaks. It just gets a little tougher to fish it. So, and that all happens on a daily basis in East Tennessee. That's just how it is. So, Ashley, I hope that answers your question. I could go on and on about current. I love fishing current. Current is your friend. Then it can also be an enemy. All right. So, but to answer your question, when they're pulling that amount of water, you want to look for your eddies, your current breaks, and the spots that those fish are going to set up in because of the current. You got to think to yourself, what is the current? How is the current going to affect the fish, right? And then start looking for those areas. Ty Woodard. Nope, not Ty. Or that Woodyard. No, not Woodyard. Sorry. JT's All Outdoors. Hey, Matt, I finally made it. Hope you have a great new year. Thank you, JT. Hope you have a good new year too, buddy. Wes Horton says sandhills are super tasty, by the way. That's what I've heard, Wes. I have not had an opportunity to hunt sandhills. Scott Bunch has, and I think he said they were good too, but I have not had the opportunity to hunt sandhills, but I'd like to. I would like to. Henry from Alberta, Canada. What is up, Henry? Thank you for joining us tonight. I think that's the first Canada I've ever seen. I appreciate it, Henry. Life as it happens, Mr. Henry. I appreciate you for joining. That's awesome. Man, we're in Canada now. Is that not crazy? That's cool right there. Heath McDaniel. What's the orange floats going across Fort Loudon Lake by the dam? Orange floats. I guess it's just a barrier, Heath. I know they talked about putting a barrier up because there's been so many deaths at the dam this year. There's been people below the dam for sure. There's been half a dozen that have died below the dam, getting too close to the dam and getting sucked back in underneath everything. And it's been bad down there this year. So I don't know. Maybe they put a barrier float or a line across there to keep boats out. I guess that's a no-fly zone. But other than that, I don't know. I'm assuming that's what it is. Let's see. Shy Tuttle. Nope, not Shy Tuttle. Hey, there it is. Tyler got it. Tyler Key. Steve Clinkscale. That is correct, Tyler. That is correct. Steve Clinkscale. He is one of the assistant coaches for the University of Kentucky. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is the defensive backs coach. But he is an assistant coach for the University of Kentucky. He came down, wanted to catch some fish, and we went out and put it on him. So, Tyler, if you don't mind, shoot me an email with all your info. My email is info@wiredforcrappie.com. I'm typing it in for you right now. So it's down there in the comments, Tyler. Info@wiredforcrappie.com is my email. Shoot me an email, get me your info, and I will send you your injector pin. Okay? Get that out in the mail to you. Man, that took you guys a long time. I figured somebody would have picked up their phone and Googled, like, UK, University of Kentucky coaches, and just went through there and looked at their face. But I don't know. Google's your best friend, guys. I'm telling you. So congratulations to Tyler on that. Happy New Year from South Carolina, Marshall. Happy New Year to you. Marshall says, what is your jig of choice for long lining, and what size jig heads, single or double rig? Very good question, Marshall. Very good question. So let's talk about that for just a second. My favorite jig to troll with, I'm looking to see if I have any. Let's see here. Go away, Christmas tree. Doesn't work, I guess. All right, so I have a couple baits that I like to long line troll with. Look, guys, I am a stump bug man through and through. I absolutely love my stump bug, okay? Let me say that. Absolutely love it. But I love it for casting. I love it for single pole fishing. I'm not a fan of the stump bug when it comes to trolling, okay? There's just not enough action to a jig on a stump bug when you're trolling. Will they catch fish trolling? Yes. But I like something that has a lot of action when I'm trolling, when I'm long lining. And the reason being is because I'm looking for a reaction bite out of fish. And having something that has action to it will give me more of a chance for that reaction bite, okay? So if I'm trolling, I like, this is a crappie magnet slab curly, okay? As you can tell, all right, everybody knows pumpkin and chartreuse. Everybody knows I like pumpkin and chartreuse. Pumpkin and chartreuse, slab curly. What it looks like out of the package, that is your slab curly, okay, guys? So you can see that is a fairly large bait with a curly tail, and it is a very large curly tail, okay, guys? Yes, it is a big curly tail, but that joker right there looks like a mini helicopter in the water. I mean, it is phenomenal to long line troll with. Absolutely, absolutely great bait. Crappie Magnet makes those. They make a very good product. They make a very good bait, okay? They all run good out of the pack. The way I rig those is I always rig my curly tails with the tail down, okay? So let me show you what I mean by that. See that tail right there? That tail is down. On a regular curly tail, like a hot grub, okay? You can rig those because the body's round, so you can rig those actually tail up, and if you're not careful and you get it tail up like this, I found a lot of times the tail will get hung on your hook, okay? So always rig your curly tails with the tail down, hook comes out the top of the jig, tail points down, okay? That's a little tip for you. And they'll run, your curly tails will run better. So I like a slab curly, okay, from Crappie Magnet. I do like a hot grub. I don't have anything against a hot grub. I do like a hot grub, and I run hot grubs a lot. Another bait that I really like and that I run a lot is a Charlie Brewer slider. Okay. So I will troll with a Charlie Brewer slider. It's a paddle tail. It's basically a 1.5 inch swim bait is basically what it is. Okay. So you've got your paddle tail. I'll show you the paddle. So there's your paddle tail. Okay. On your jig. And these two have a really, really, really good wobble back and forth, obviously, with that paddle tail. It swims. Okay. And they have some really great colors. So that's the like the electric chicken. If you're familiar with, I think they call it chicken lamb or something like that. It's pink and green with a chartreuse tail. It's a very good color. They've got a cricket that's a good color. It's kind of like a silver and pumpkin seed. That red chartreuse right there behind me is a good color. The white chartreuse is a good color. They've got some really good colors. So there's red chartreuse, white chartreuse, great baits. Two for trolling. Again, I love my stump bug, guys, but when I'm trolling, I want something that's got some action to it. I got to have action. And it may be a mental thing. I don't know for sure, but I've trolled with stump bugs, and you will catch fish, but I feel like I catch more fish on something with action to it. So those are the go-tos for me. Now, I'll also cast that jig for those looking for those bigger bites. That is a bigger bait, okay? But little fish will hit this too. I've caught 6-inch crappie on this thing. I mean, they will eat this too. When they're active, they're active. When they're hungry. So, and one other thing that I typically do, Marshall, is I do run a double rig, okay? I will typically use 2 16th ounce jig heads, all right? Tied in parallel, obviously. Loop knots on both. The back jig head, or the one in the very back, the end of the line, I will tie a pony head on, which is a jig head with a blade on it, kind of like a Roadrunner, but I use a pony head from Lightwire Hooks. Curtis Hobbs provides me with all my pony heads. And the reason is because I can get a willow blade. The blades that come on a Roadrunner are Colorado blades. So the rounder blades, they're not really round, they're an oval, like a teardrop kind of looking thing. I'm not a big fan of the Colorado blade. I like the willow blade. I like it in silver and gold. So I will put that on the back jig, and then just a regular old 16th ounce, jig head on the front jig without a blade. So the reason I do that is because I want that fish to see that first jig, but then when he sees the flash on the second jig, he reacts. So if he sees that first jig and he's not real hungry, and he just says, "Oh, there's a jig go by," and then the second one comes by and it's got the extra flash on it, they'll whack it. So that's the reason I do that. But I do run a double jig, and typically they're 16th ounce. Okay. Typically, they are both 16 ounce, unless I'm trying to run shallow. If I'm trying to run shallow, then I will go to 2/32. If I'm trying to run extremely deep, I will go to 2/8. So it just depends on how deep I'm trying to run, okay? That's how I set up my long line setup. I run 8 rods, 2 12s, 2 10s, 2 8s, and then 2 6s out the back. That's how I like to long line troll. And long line trolling is very productive, guys. If you hadn't ever long line trolled, it is productive. You can go catch a lot of fish, especially if you don't have a lot of electronics. So if you don't have a lot of electronics, long line trolling is a great way to cover water, catch suspended fish out in open water. And it's very productive. Day in, day out, it's a productive way to catch them. Okay. So I hope that answers your question, Marshall. Thank you. That was a great question. I appreciate it very much. Josh Sanders said he saw an old YouTube video from Caps telling that story about the tuba 12s. Okay. So, y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm not lying. Yeah, I remember that. So I met them out at Reelfoot. This has been probably 6 or 8 years ago. maybe longer, but actually probably longer because I've been doing East Tennessee Crappie Club now for 8. So maybe it was 10 years ago. Wow, it's been a while. Uh, but we actually got an opportunity to sit down and have dinner one night, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of stories, a lot of stuff flew around that night, and it was a lot of fun. So, uh, thank you, Josh, for letting everybody know I was telling the truth. Let's see. Ashley says, great answer, buddy. Thanks. I appreciate it. Maybe could do one of your mini classes on current affecting where crappie feed one night. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I'll tell you something else, guys. At some point here in the near future, I'm going to be hooking up with Crappie Cove in Maryville, and we are going to be doing crappie academies. Okay. So what we'd like to do is maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 a year, maybe 4 a year. We're going to be doing crappie academies. We're going to be doing those in a classroom, and we're going to be doing presentations. I'll be teaching, and we're going to get very, 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 very specific. I'm going to bring training aids. I'm going to bring hands-on stuff. We may do an electronics class one night, maybe a live scope class, but we're going to start at Crappie Cove in Maryville doing a Crappie Academy that is going to cover a lot of different things, and it's going to be very topic specific stuff. Okay. When we come on this live, I'm answering a lot of questions. I'm bouncing around. I'm here. I'm there. I'm over here. I'm that way. I'm this way. You guys take me all over the place, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. But what we're going to do at Crappie Cove is going to be really, really in depth, really, really technique specific, and really, really specific all the way around information, and we're going to stay on a topic and really dig deep into that individual topic. Now, because Crappie Cove isn't, huge, it's not, it's not a coliseum. We're only going to allow so many people at those events, and we will probably be selling tickets for that. Okay. It's not going to be anything. It's not going to be an expensive venture. But what we are thinking is if somebody buys a ticket, they're coming, right? I mean, if you have to buy a ticket that's $25 or $30, you're going to show up because you paid $25 or $30 to come to the class. What we don't want to happen is take the first 30 people that say they're coming and then 15 not show up, right? When there's 15 others that would have loved to have been there. So we're going to be probably selling tickets for that. But we're going to probably start those. I don't know if we'll start them in January or not. It just kind of depends on how everything goes. We're going to feel everything out. But it's going to be very, very hands-on. Very, like I said, I'm bringing rods, reels, I'm bringing baits, I'm bringing all kinds of stuff. We're going to get, planer boards and electronics. We're going to have displays to set up and show you guys stuff. It's going to be nice. We're going to do it right. So I'll do PowerPoints for the class, and it's going to be really, really in-depth, cool stuff. So you won't want to miss that. I'll let everybody know when that is, and you'll be able to get on Crappie Cove's website. You'll be able to get on my website, and you'll be able to call them and get tickets for that. So it's going to be really, really cool if you're in the East Tennessee area. And we're going to talk a lot about our lakes and how to catch them in our lakes. So it'll be stuff that you'll want to catch. You'll want to catch for sure. I don't know. We'll probably have refreshments there, drinks, snacks, that sort of thing for you guys too. But it's going to be a lot of good stuff, a lot of fun. So looking forward to those. Would you guys be interested in that? Let me ask, who all would be interested in doing that? I mean, if we had something like that was very hands-on, very specific, very in depth, would you guys come? Who would pay $25 to come to that? Be honest with me. Would you guys want to come to that and spend a couple hours one night, or 3 hours, 4 hours? I don't know how long they're going to be, but they'll be hours. Just really getting in depth with some of this stuff. Let me know what you think. Uh, Slabbuster says, very true, Matt. River system harder to fish than a lake. The Coosa, as you know, is a river system. It changes fast. Yeah, rivers, current, guys, it's just, it's so cool. It's so cool how it changes everything. If it's just wide open, the lake will fish completely different. If they're running, a lot of guys will look how many generators they're running. It's a lot like trout fishing. If they're running one generator, you can wade. If they're running 3 generators, you better fish from the bank and you better find some eddies. It's just neat how it affects the fish in a lake or a reservoir the same way as it does in the river. So, these lakes that aren't necessarily reservoirs or dammed or have the Tennessee Valley Authority fluctuating the water and the current in those lakes daily. It's just so neat to see and to be able to find those fish and know where they migrate to. Like if you're catching fish out in the middle of the channel and at 10 o'clock, they open 3 generators and all of a sudden you can't hold your boat on your spot and you look in your screen or your live scope and you say, oh, those fish are gone. Well, where are they going? They're going somewhere. Where are they going? Well, you might be able to get on your graph. If you understand current and how fish relate to current, you may be able to get on your graph and they may have just went 100 yards over here. And all the fish that were in that main river at that point on the structure you were fishing went right there. You can move over there and you can keep catching fish. So, to be able to understand what that current does in our local lakes is really, really key. And that's something that, like I said, a lot of guys, a lot of the best crappie anglers in East Tennessee that I know, they understand that. They know what those fish do. They know how to pattern those fish, and they're very successful because they understand all the conditions that they're dealt, right? So again, this stuff that we're going to do at Crappie Cove is going to get very, very in depth. It's going to get very, very technical, and it's just going to bring a new light to a lot of different things in crappie fishing. You can have those days where you just go out and every brush pile you go to, you catch 20 fish off of. Sure, absolutely you can. But then you can also have those days where you go out, who was that? Aaron, I think, said he got skunked on Hiwassee. Well, why? Was the current blaring? Did it muddy up? What affected those fish? Why did those fish do that? And where should he look to go catch fish? Or at least, not get skunked, go catch one fish, right? So I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't on Hiwassee, but I'm sure that, Aaron could have made some adjustments and maybe caught a couple fish, 3 fish, 5 fish, 20 fish. I don't know. But, and maybe you couldn't. But, having all those tools in your tool pouch will help you be a better angler. That's having those off the wall thoughts and thinking outside the box a lot of times will help you be successful. So I'm getting off that soapbox because I'll ride that soapbox all night. All right, I'm getting hot in here. It's getting warm in my office. I'm going to have to take my sweater off. Tom said Josh had that earlier. Heidi said Josh had that earlier. Josh, did you say that? Josh had it earlier. Josh, did you say clink scale? Josh said, yeah, I stopped after typing it. I never saw it, Josh. I never saw it. I apologize. Josh, I'll see you at Chick. So you and I will square up at Chickamauga. Sorry, Josh. I apologize. But I'll make it right, buddy. I'll get you some stuff. We'll hook you up. We're going to give this one to Tyler. But I'm sorry. You guys saw it. I never saw it. I don't know if it didn't come through to me or what. I'll go back and look at my comments after the live, but I never saw it. I'm sorry, Josh. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's getting thick. I think you should go on and give Josh the pumpkin chartreuse, all of them. Well, you notice, guys, I've got it up there in the very top of the screen up yonder. I ain't giving nothing away on that one. I agree with Steven. I won't even be greedy. 3 packs will do. I don't need them all. That's funny. Josh, I will hook you up at, don't let me forget it, Chick, okay? I'll hook you up. But no, you're not getting the pumpkin chartreuse. But I'll hook you up. Let's see here. Crappie Kev, 1/16 ounce jig with powder bait grub in pumpkin chartreuse for long line trolling. Yeah, no doubt. Pumpkin chartreuse is a great color. I mean, pumpkin chartreuse has been a staple in the fishing industry, guys, since fishing started. I mean, bass guys have been throwing pumpkin chartreuse for years. Crappie guys have been throwing pumpkin chartreuse for, I mean, it ain't no secret pumpkin chartreuse catches fish. I mean, it's just, I mean, you just can't beat pumpkin chartreuse anywhere. I mean, in my opinion, black and chartreuse, white and chartreuse, pumpkin and chartreuse. If somebody said you can only go lake and throw 3 colors for the rest of your life, those are 3 colors I'd put in my tackle box. White and chartreuse, black and chartreuse, and pumpkin and chartreuse. That's just how it is for me. Now, don't start commenting and be like, oh, those colors suck. You need this color. I know there's other colors out there, and they do catch fish. I love purple and chartreuse. I love like a monkey milk or a moon dust or a blood moon or a red and silver. I mean, black and silver. I love a lot of different colors, but those 3 would be my. If I could only buy 3 baits and carry them the rest of my life, that'd be the 3 I'd carry. Tyler, if you had to choose trolling motor with spot lock or live scope. I don't use spot lock, Tyler. I never use spot lock. Only time I use spot lock, let me put that back over there. Only time I use spot lock is when I'm culling fish, broke off and tying, or eating lunch. I mean, that's the only time I use spot lock, no joke. I do not use spot lock. And the reason I do not use spot lock, now, you're going to get some guys on here that say spot lock, trolling motor, spot lock, trolling motor. You know, a lot of guys use spot lock because they're single poling with a 10-foot or 12-foot rod or 13-foot or 14-foot or whatever rod they're using. They're single poling and they have to stay right there on that fish because if they move 5 feet, they're off their fish, which is going to lead me into another thing here in just a minute. I'll get there in a minute. Let me stay on topic. All right, this is going to get good. You guys watching, this is going to get good. If you're the 81 that's on right now, stay with me because this is going to get good, okay? Some people are going to not like me after this, but this is going to get good. So that's a lot of the reason people want spot lock, okay? Me personally, I do not want spot lock. I would rather have that live scope where I can see my bait and know I'm in the strike zone on those fish, okay? Now, let's jump into why I don't want why I don't like spot lock. Yes, I want spot lock, but I want it after live scope. And why do I say I want it after live scope? Well, because like I said, those guys that are using those 12 and 13 and 11-foot, 10-foot rods that are sitting right over top of the fish, yeah, they want live scope because they're holding that pole out there and they can only move their arm forward and back, 3 feet because you got 6-foot wingspan. So 2 to 3 feet, they can move that. So that live scope will keep them kind of in that 2 to 3 feet range. Well, look here. Let me get one of these. Let me just grab one of these right here. Come here, buddy. Come here, baby. Get out of there. when you're using a 6 foot or 6.5 foot ACC crappie stick, okay, and you're pitching and casting to those fish, you don't have to have live scope. You don't have to stay exactly 10 feet from your brush pile. You can be 15 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet, 30 feet. You can be 32, 16, 18, 5, 4. You can be however far away from your brush pile that you want to be or are comfortable being. And you can take this rod and you can put that jig in that brush pile and you can work that jig through that brush pile and you can catch fish out of that brush pile with one rod. You don't have to have a 10 foot, a 12 foot, an 11 foot, and you don't have to be spot locked and you don't have to sit right there at 10 feet. Oh, I know I got to get 10 foot from my brush pile because I got a 10 foot rod. Well, guess what? I got a 6 foot rod and I can be anywhere from 30 to 0 feet from that brush pile and I can cast to those fish and I can work that bait through that brush pile. Now that's why I like a 6 and a 6.5 foot rod because I am so versatile with those rods. I can be anywhere I want to be on that brush pile. And a lot of times, guys, let me tell you, a lot of times those fish want that bait coming in a certain direction. Again, if you're fishing a lake like Fork that doesn't have a lot of current, it's not a power lake, okay? A lot of guys are fishing Fork. A lot of YouTubers that fish Fork, fish those lakes down in Texas. I don't think Lake of the Pines is, and I don't think Palestine is. I don't think those lakes are either. I don't think they're power lakes. I don't think they have current flow like our lakes do. I could be wrong. I may be wrong. If you guys are from down there and they are, please tell me so I'll shut up. But the way I can use this rod, okay, because I just lost all train of thought where I was going with that. But the way that I can use this rod and be versatile with this one rod allows me to fish anywhere on these lakes. Oh, I know where I was going with it. It came back. A lot of times on these lakes that are power plant lakes, okay, energy lakes, and they have current that is being adjusted every day by TVA, a lot of times those fish want that bait falling in a certain direction. Now think of it like this. What I mean by a certain direction, you got a brush pile or a stake. Let's say there's a stake and there's a fish sitting right here on this side and that current is going this direction. Okay. It's coming down like this and he's sitting right here on this side on the down current side. Okay. If that current is going this way and that bait comes this way, swimming down through here against the current, he's going to look at that and go, I ain't seen one go that way yet. It's just not natural to him. You're already trying to fool him with a fake jig, and then you're bringing it in a manner that isn't natural to him, right? So, again, that's an intricacy of crappie fishing that I've learned over the years. And that's another reason I don't want spot lock, because I want to be able to get on that brush pile. I want to be able to pull up down current from that brush pile, fish it down current. And then I want to be able to move around to this side. And I want to be able to move around to this side. And I want to throw a cross current, okay, from this side to this side and vice versa. I want to be able to move that boat around. And I want to be able to fish it from all those different directions. Now, will I go up current and throw back? Every once in a while I may. And if I do, it's because the current is so slight that those fish are set up on the front of that brush pile. If they're set up on the front of the brush pile, you can't really get behind it and fish it, okay? Because you'll get hung every time. Every time you cast over there to the fish, if they don't bite it, you're going to get hung in the brush. So you've got to get up in front of it and fish back. That's a very rare occasion. But I want to be able to move around. That's why I don't like spot lock, or I don't use it. I like it. I don't use it a lot because I want to be able to move around and present that bait at different angles to those fish. Okay? Does that make sense? So I told you it's going to get good. It's going to get deep. But that is the reason that I do not typically use spot lock, is I want to be able to present my bait to all those different fish. And that is another reason why you don't see Matt using a 10 or 11 or 12-foot rod that much, because it is extremely difficult in current to keep your boat at 10 feet exactly all the time. You can't sit there at 10 feet and just hold that rod out there and hope that your arm can keep that bait on those fish. And yeah, can you do it with spot lock? You can, okay? But you don't have to. It's so much more, you're so much more consistent with a shorter rod, making those pitches and those casts, and you don't have to worry as much about where your boat is, okay? So if I'm sitting on a place and the wind's blowing a little bit and I make a cast out to a brush pile, at that point, if there's not a bunch of current or a really high wind, I don't have to worry about my boat floating. I can let my boat float. If I start at 10 feet from that brush pile and my boat blows back 10 feet, as long as I made that cast and I've got that bait out there on the right spot in that brush, always leave your bail open so that your bait falls straight down. I can fish that brush pile no matter how far my boat gets away from it, because I've got my live scope, I can see the bait, I can see the brush, and I can work that jig through the brush with my short rod. Does that make sense? So, all right, I'm off that box too. So I'm going to leave that one alone. But that's a great example of why I use those shorter rods, why you don't see me setting spot locked right over top of a piece of structure, okay? And Tyler, I hope that answers your question, and I hope that made sense to you. If it didn't, let me know. I appreciate it. Jeff Johnson, do you typically fish with colored jig heads or plain ones? I use plain most of the time and don't see much difference. Well, I've answered this question before, Jeff. Thank you for the question. It's a great question. I use both. I use colored. There's a yellow and red. There's a pink and black. I've got, chartreuse is my favorite color jig head because chartreuse drives a reaction strike out of fish. But I also have right here, I've got unpainted jig heads as well. So everybody knows I like the double cross from Crappie Magnet. That's another Crappie Magnet product. The double cross jig head is what I prefer. It's got barbs on both sides, and they're very, very minimal barbs. They don't tear your jig up that much. So they'll still hold your jig, but won't tear it up. And that is a unpainted jig head. Now, silver's a color, guys. Okay? So if you see a really good deal on unpainted jig heads and you say, oh man, I just wish they were painted. Why? Silver's a color. Shad or silver. Don't think for 1 second you can't catch a fish on a silver jig head or an unpainted jig head, lead colored jig head. I've caught a million on it. And you can catch fish on an unpainted jig head. So if you see a good deal on unpainted jig heads and you want to buy some, buy some. You can always powder coat them. If not, then you can always use them the way they are. And yes, they work. You can catch them on unpainted all the time. So thank you, Jeff. That's a good question, buddy. Kenny says, I'm looking to invest in a device such as LiveScope, but I have all Humminbird products. Suggestions? Spend the money on a LiveScope. I don't think you'll regret it. Humminbird is coming out with their version. I would probably wait, Kenny, and see what their version looks like. I've seen an update, I guess, on Humminbird and Lowrance's units. I have actually seen some stuff on those units, as you guys probably have too. At this point, I am actually going to be able to get one of those units in front of me soon. And when I do, I'll have more to say about it. But right now, I'm keeping hush-hush because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. So we'll see. We'll see. Do I think it's going to be better? No. I think it's going to be Do I think it'll be competitive? I think at this point in the game, I hope it's competitive. Will it be? I'm not sure. It's too early to say for me. So we'll see. But if you want to invest in a live scope, the Garmin unit is standalone. If you have Humminbird products or you have Lowrance products, like I do, I have Lowrance products. I keep all my waypoints at the console. I don't have any of my waypoints up front. I don't need them per se. Sometimes I wish they were up there. They'd be a little beneficial if I was just moving 25, 30 yards. I could do that from the front, but a lot of times if you're that close to something, you can find it with the live scope. I mean, we're pretty good. We're most of the time good enough to get within that 50 to 75 feet of something to be able to find it on the live scope, right? So anyway, I don't have the first GPS coordinate on my live scope. My live scope unit is a standalone unit. It's only for my live scope. I don't even have another transducer plugged up to it. Only thing it runs is my live scope, period. I'm not putting a waypoint in it. I'm not putting anything in that unit that could slow down the processor. Makes sense? So that's all I use it for. So if you wanted to buy a Garmin unit and your live scope, Kenny, it would be beneficial to you, and it doesn't have to be Humminbird. Okay. But that's just my suggestion to you. Larry says, take my money. Take my money for what? Oh, for the class, the Crappie Cove. Yeah. So the Crappie Cove class, take his money. Daryl Coral says, yes, I would be. Yes, very excited. Dearman says, I'll sign up for Crappie Academy. George Hamby says, I would. Norval, Novor, and all. Novor, no, am I reading that wrong? Gosh, help me out. He says he'd do it. Dearman says, I would. I will if work schedule works out. Wes says, Slabbuster says I'd be in if I was closer. Well, Slabbuster, look, if you want to come up to a Crappie Academy, okay, maybe you and I can maybe we can make a fishing trip out of it. Maybe you and I can get together and fish, and then we'll go do a Crappie Academy that evening or something. How's that sound? Because you and I have been needing to get together anyway, so. Karen says, how about pay-per-view for all of us folks who aren't close, like online seminar? Karen, we may do something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know. I don't know how. Can you do a pay-per-view as an individual? I don't think you can. But it's going to be something that is going to be very, 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 very lake specific for our region. Okay. I'm talking, we're going to get down to, we're not just going to talk about, just the average Joe stuff. We're not going to talk, we're going to get very in depth. We're going to start off slow and work our way up, but I'm going to get very, very in depth with a lot of different things and get very, very technical very, very quickly in some of the classes. So it's going to be very beneficial to our waters. So I don't know if going national with that or doing online anything would I would hate to mislead somebody on your body of water. Does that make sense? I'll try to stay general for all lakes because I know we're reaching with these lives. I mean, we're in Canada now. My gosh, we had a Canada earlier. That's cool as crap. So, maybe possibly at some point, but I'm going to try to, I guess I'm going to try to really bring a lot of guys in East Tennessee to another level and really get in depth with a lot of cool information, a lot of good stuff. So, it'll definitely be worth your while. It'll definitely be worth coming and participating and being a part of those. So, and like I said, we're probably going to do maybe one a quarter. And at some point in time, I'm going to bring in other people to that as well. At some point in time, it won't just be me. Okay. Scott Bunch is an absolutely phenomenal fisherman. Scott Bunch and Neil Alvis, they are absolutely fantastic fishermen. they whoop my butt a lot of times, and sometimes I whoop their butt. But they are absolutely phenomenal fishermen, and they have got an onset of knowledge that is extremely, extremely beneficial to people. So, hopefully I'll get them in there at some point. We may bring in some other people as well. I know some people from Humminbird, Lowrance, and I don't know anybody personally from Garmin right now, but I'm sure we could probably find somebody. So along the way, we're going to see. I mean, I think for the first probably 2 to 4, it'll be me, and then we'll probably bring in some other people to teach on some specific things as well from their end. Or what we may do is break it in half, and I'll do my spiel and my in-depth stuff for half the class, and then we'll bring somebody in for the other half. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of good stuff, a lot of knowledge from a lot of people, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and it's going to help people become better anglers. So that's what we're all about. That's why I started this channel, as you guys know, is to help people be better anglers, and that's what we're going to try to do. So anyway, Ashley says, depending on topics, he'd be interested. An idea, barometric pressure and its effects on fishing. Also, maybe I'm alone in this, but still don't fully understand it either. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a very, very, very good topic for sure. Sorry, throat's getting dry. All right. Karen, Heidi agrees with Karen. George says, how long are you thinking a class will last? I'm not sure yet, George. That's something that we haven't ironed out. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly positive. What are your thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts? I mean, what kind of class would you want to attend? Would you want to set in a 4-hour class, or would you want a 2-hour class? I mean, what do you guys want? I mean, what would you be willing to set through? So, that's the better question. I can talk forever. Trust me, I can run my mouth about crappie all day and twice on Sunday, but it's only a matter of what you guys would want to sit through. So if you guys say, hey, I can make 2 hours one Saturday or one Sunday evening, but I can't make 4, my gosh, my butt would hurt after 4 hours, then, maybe we do 2. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Hour-wise. Josh says, I did twice, but I won last week. It's all good. It don't matter, Josh. You can win every week with me, buddy. I'll hook you up at Chick. You can come see me at Chick. I'll have something for you. Larry says, spot lock versus live scope, you're not taking into account the type of boat. My PT 175 gets blown all over the place. Your boat stays in place much more. My boat does, yes. My 690 VS, Larry, you're right about my boat staying in place more. But I understand. I used to fish out of a PT 185, and I fished it the same way. You just have to be on the trolling motor more. I mean, you got a foot pedal, so you should be able to maneuver that boat with that foot pedal and keep it where you need to keep it so that you can fish. Again, even more of a reason for the 6.5 or 6 foot rod casting those brush piles, being able to, if you're not perfectly in a spot, it's okay. You can adjust with your cast or your pitch, then you can use your live scope to see your fish. So, and your bait. So again, I'm all for live scope over spot lock, my friend. It's just we don't use it very much. We're moving around. Even when I had my PT 185, which I just had before my Ranger, you guys didn't get the opportunity to see that boat, but I had a PT 185, a silver anniversary edition before my Ranger, and I fished out of that boat for years, and I loved that boat. It was a great boat. It was slower, and it was not as comfortable, but it was a great boat. I much prefer my 690 over it. It does fish in the wind better. It does fish in the current better because it sits deeper in the water. It doesn't get pushed around as much. But still, live scope over spot lock for me. That's, again, personal opinion. But yeah, and 6-foot rod over 10-foot rod. That's just how it's easiest for me. And, you guys have to experiment with that and figure out what's easiest for you too. It sounds like Larry says spot lock over live scope for him, but it's definitely an experiment that you have to try to figure out which way works best for you. Ronnie Harris, thumbs up if you like all the info. Yeah, guys, don't forget, smash that thumbs up, please. It just lets me and everybody watching know that you like the content. It allows YouTube to know that it's good content. And then when people scroll through their page and they see our lives, they know it's good content and they watch it too. So smash that thumbs up for me if you don't mind, please. Dustin says 83 watching, only 16 likes. Come on. 16 likes, guys? Come on. Am I not giving any good information? I mean, golly, only 16 likes, 83 people watching. How many people come through? Only 16 liked it? Really? I hadn't even looked, but yeeks. That's scary. Sorry, guys. I hope I hadn't messed up tonight. Larry McBride says, I need to write a book with all these tips. Huh. I never thought about that. I don't think anybody'd read my book, Larry. Maybe they would. I don't know. That would be kind of neat, wouldn't it? Maybe one day, if I get a little older and slow down a little, maybe I'll sit down and write a book. That would be kind of neat. We'll see. That's. Thank you. That's a neat little comment. We'll see. I don't know. Now you got my wheels turning. All right, Crappie Kev, pink heads for me. Kenny says, keep me updated. Will do. Jackie says, I think you should give away free guided trip at class. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we will. Look, guys, I would love to give away a free guided trip every time I'm on here. But unfortunately, I do work a full-time job. I do work for a living. Trust me. My revenue from YouTube and from crappie fishing would definitely leave me homeless. We don't get paid a whole lot to do what we do, and I'm not here for the money. I'm here to help you guys learn and to help you guys become better anglers. I've said that a million times. It's what I started this for. It's what I started East Tennessee Crappie Club for, and that's what I am going to continue to do, is help everyone become better anglers. That's my main goal, my main purpose. But with that said, I do have to work for a living because I have a wife and kids who depend on me. My wife is a stay-at-home mother, and I have two beautiful little boys that depend on me to put food in their mouth and shoes on their feet. And, at the end of the day, fishing is my passion and my love. And the guided trips that I do have the opportunity to do are very few and far between. For those that have looked at my calendar on my website, they're very few and far between, and they book up fairly fast. And I just don't have enough open spots, Jackie, to give any away. I mean, I at some point may, but right now I just don't have that availability, because I'm trying to juggle a lot of different things and still have time for my wife and kids. So anyway, thank you. I would love to do that, and we probably will at some point. I did give away one trip to Larry Merrick when I first started YouTubing. that was before I even started guiding, really. It was more of just a kind of a, I'll take you out fishing for a day. And Larry won that, and we caught, I don't know how many fish. Larry can tell you. I mean, we caught a ton of fish, but nonetheless, thank you for the comment. And I would love to do that at some point. Maybe we will, but I don't know. We'll see. Larry says, record these academy sessions. Larry, you know, I've considered doing that as well, but I don't think we will. And I'll tell you why. Because if look, I don't need to take up the time at Crappie Cove or take up the space at Crappie Cove if I'm just going to record them and put them out there and you guys are going to watch them at home. And I hate to say that way, but, you know, we kind of need to have a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? We need to have a little bit of, I guess not a want, but a little bit of just a special event. And, you know, you kind of have to be there to be a part, you know. I hate to say it that way. It sounds horrible, but, you know, we probably won't record these and put out there. This is, like I said, again, this is going to be very in-depth stuff, very hands-on stuff. I'm going to be worried about the people that are there more than I am going to be recording. So, anyway, there'll be more out on that. We'll get all that information out for you and when we're going to do that and all that good stuff. So, it just depends on how things go over the next little bit. You know, obviously we'll see what the new year holds. Getting groups together has been difficult this year, let's face it. So we'll see if we even get the opportunity to. At some point we will get the opportunity to, and we will do it. But, you know, when that first one will kick off, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Jackie says 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, then a break, then maybe another 2 hours. Karen says it was 46, not 16. Oh, that makes me feel better. Thank you, Karen. Josh says the likes don't update if you're on mobile. You have to be on laptop to see the current likes. Gotcha. Dustin says I'd buy the book. Okay, good to know. Ronnie Harris, buy. Buy, Ronnie. I guess you mean buy as in see you later, buy, not buy as in buy it. I'm not sure, but if you mean buy it, cool. If you mean buy, see you later. Oh, okay. Record for the attendees. I won't remember a tenth of what you say. Yeah, we can do that. I'm sure we can probably do a recording for the attendees, and there again, it'd be very well. It wouldn't be very interactive with the recording. It'd be just recording the room basically. But yeah, I mean, we can probably do something like that. Or I'll tell you what, I mean, if you guys come, you can record everything yourself while you're there. You know, I don't know. We'll figure something out, but. Tyler, do you use Fishing Specialties live scope mount? Yes, I do, Tyler. I use the Fishing Specialties pole. They are a partner with the channel, and they actually offer 10% discount to you guys, Tyler, with the discount code WIRED. So if you call Mike at Fishing Specialties and say, hey, I'd like to get a pole, but I want to use the WIRED discount, WIRED, give me that WIRED discount, he will give you 10% off of your Fishing Specialties equipment. That is all of Fishing Specialties equipment. So not just the pole, it's everything with Fishing Specialties. So you get 10% off there just because you watch our channel. And I appreciate them for doing that. That's really cool. It helps you guys save money, and it helps, you get you some good stuff. It helps you in return become a better angler. So, quality product will help. Fiddling with product on the water stinks. Let me tell you, when you have something go wrong, you guys know when you have something go wrong on the water or break on the water, or it'll ruin a day. I mean, it really will. So having good quality product is very nice to have. It's very beneficial to have. And for you guys to be able to come here and save a little bit of money, I enjoy you guys being able to do that. So anyway, yes, I use their Fishing Specialties live scope mount. I have a video on that. Actually, a couple of videos outlining that and that pole and that setup and how I set it up on my boat. I do put mounts on both sides of the boat because a lot of times if the wind or the current, let's say you're fishing docks and you're fishing on the west side of the lake, and the current is in such a way that you have to fish out the right hand side of the boat. Well, let's say you want to go fish the east side of the lake, and I think I said west, right? The opposite side. Let's say you want to go to the opposite side of the lake and fish docks. Well, the current's still the same way, but you got to fish out of the left-hand side of the boat instead of the right-hand side of the boat. You need to be able to move that pole from one side of the boat to the other so that you can be most effective on locating those fish, right? And then, like I said, I like to move around my brush pile. So let's say I'm on the left-hand side of the brush and I want to fish out of the right-hand side of the boat and put my pole on the right. Well, then let's say I want to move over to the other side. I can move my pole to the left. And for those of you that have seen that, literally I can move that pole from the right side of my boat to the left side of my boat in 1 second. It's just pick it up, move it over, set it down. 1 second, and I move that pole from one side of the boat to the other. It is absolutely just hands down the best pole I've seen to be able to move it. Stow, deploy, and moving that pole from one side to the other it's the absolute easiest pole I've seen yet to be able to do that. So very good product. Tyler, did you just screw to your deck? I can't get underneath it to put nuts in the underside. So Tyler, what I did is, Tyler, let me tell you what the video is. My video for live scope for the Fishing Specialties pole is called, I can't remember the name of it right off the top. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. So the video is called Garmin Live Scope Pole. Let me show it to you. Right there. Garmin Live Scope Pole is the name of the video. Go watch that video and it will show you how many or how I mounted that pole to my boat. So I did not put them in the deck. I actually mounted them on rails. I used the rail clamp that Fishing Specialty sells, and I clamped them to rails. I bought 9-inch rails, put on the boat, used the rail clamp for mine. You can see all that on that video, okay? But I've also installed several on other anglers' boats. And I actually have another install to do, I think, this weekend. But I actually installed those with the base mount that mounts into the floor, and you can just screw that. So if that's all you have, you can screw that. You don't have to bolt it, okay? Just get you some good solid screws and screw it to the floor. Tom A., thank you for the super chat, Tom. So for those that don't know what a super chat is a way for you to give back to the channel. It helps keep me on the water, making good quality content for you guys to view. I appreciate it, Tom, very much. It helps me out tremendously. Those super chats help me out a ton. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Tom. Let's see what you got. Won't be able to watch your live for the next few months due to work. We'll be watching, though, after it's over to get all of your great info. Happy New Year. Tom, I hate to hear that you can't watch it, buddy. But that's the beauty of YouTube, right? So you can go watch it whenever you can. It saves it. It's right there on my page, and you can go watch it when you're available to watch it. So I hate that you won't be there interacting with us, Tom, but we'll be here when you get back, and I'll be here when you get back. So I thank you very much again for the super chat. Look forward to it. When you get back, we'll see you then. Let's see here. Heidi Clark says, hand all attendees a paper outline of what you say. Yeah, so yeah, we'll probably have an agenda, or there will be an agenda. So we'll have an agenda for each class. I'll have the PowerPoint, of course. So, if you guys want a power copy of the PowerPoint or whatever, we'll figure something out. Ronnie Harris says, no, I said I'd buy the book. I'll be here till you sign off. Well, thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that, buddy. We're going to sign off here in a little bit, but right now we're going to see if you guys have any more comments. So let me for those that have hung on this long, it's almost 2 hours in. We try to stay right there around 2 hours. We're not done yet, Jackie. Jackie's saying good night all. She's heading out, I guess, but let me tell y'all a little bit about what's going on in Wired's world, right? So I don't know. I guess my beautiful wife at the door again. I'm gonna start showing my beautiful wife to you guys. I'm telling you, she's a looker. I need to start showing her off more. And every time she comes to my door, I'm gonna start doing this. And she just run. I ain't seen her move that fast in 10 years, guys. That was pretty good. I need to get her on here. She needs to get on. Would y'all enjoy Miss Wired getting on the live with me one night? Maybe you guys can ask her why she doesn't ever go fishing with me. I need to get her out on the water. She needs to go fishing. Miss Wired needs to go catch. Hey, guys, my wife's never caught a crappie. Y'all believe that? She's never caught a crappie. I can't get her on a boat. She won't go. She won't go. She's not interested. That's bad, ain't it? I tell you. Maybe you guys can talk some sense into her. Living life with Laura. When she gets on here next time, y'all let her know. Need to go fishing. Need to go catch a fish. You guys want to see her catch a fish. Maybe if you guys tell her you want to see her catch a fish, maybe she'll go. But anyway, my beautiful wife, she come to the door. She ran away when I told her I was going to put her on live. So, yeah. I tell you a little bit about what's going on, I guess, with Wired. I typically do not try to get very deep in personal stuff with you guys, and that's not. I don't do well in a personal space. I think I do get a little bit of. Let me take that back. I do get a little personal, but I don't get real deep into stuff personally, I guess. But I've always tried to be more info driven and more technical with you guys, and just try to teach more than I do just get on here and Laura said no thanks. More than I just get on here and just blog about our life, right? But I feel like I know you guys so well. I feel like you guys are part of my life, and I guess I kind of, if it's okay, I kind of want to share a little bit of my life with you guys and what's going on in Wired's life and my life. I guess I am Wired, whatever. Is that okay? Is that okay that we do that a little bit? I mean, are you guys gonna shun me if I do, or you guys cool with it? Not cool with it? Leave your personal crap elsewhere. I mean, what do y'all got? So, let's see what we got going on. Fish and Joe said LMAO. I hate when work gets in the way of fishing. It does a lot. There we go. Miss Wired has to go fish and appear in an episode. Yes, I like it. Keep it up. Keep it. There she is. She's on here. She's on here. Y'all keep it up. Keep going. Let's see. There she is. No thanks. My wife is the same way, Scott says. Oh, honey. Oh, she doesn't get it. She sees me every day, guys, and still doesn't get enough. Look at that. That's love right there. Hurry, get on with it, Jackie said. Tell us whatever you feel like you need to. We're family here. That's right. We're the Wired fam. There's no doubt about that. What you talking about, Willis? So you need to do a show with her, Jeff says. Look, if I could do a first crappie for Wired wife, that would be the title. First crappie for Wired's wife. That's got to happen. It's got to happen. Maybe this spring when it warms up a little bit. She's a fair weather fisherman, I bet you. So maybe I can get her out there on the water. But Wired family here to listen. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So the Wired fam is going to be building a home for ourselves, and we are going to. I am going to finally have my dream shop and my space. Okay. It has been I've wanted some place that I can just absolutely have all my stuff, all my toys in one area, all my Wired stuff. Okay. Over the last few years, we've been blessed to, I guess, just have an understanding of kind of what we were looking for in a home, and we've seen what we don't want, I guess, and we are going to venture into a build. We've never built a home before. We have always bought homes, not built homes. So we're actually going to jump into something completely new. I will be taking on a lot of it. As you guys know, I work in outdoor contracting. I've said that before. I work in outdoor contracting. I have, throughout the years, done a lot of different cool stuff. I've been able to, obviously, those that don't know what I mean by outdoor contracting, I'm talking landscape irrigation, excavation, footers, house seats, sewer lines, electric lines, water lines, anything you can think of, outdoor contracting. So I can run equipment. I can run a Traco, a Bobcat, anything with a diesel and a key I can run. So, we're going to get really, really involved in a lot of it. And, guys, there's a part of me that just wants to show some of that to you guys. The Wired home, the shop, the everything. I'm sure you guys have seen all those anglers that have pegboard all over the place, and they've got all their baits and all their stuff hanging up everywhere, and you walk through there and you're like, golly, it's Bass Pro. I'm going to have that. I'm finally going to have that. And I'm so super excited. I can't wait. It's going to be a really cool adventure, and I'd like to share that with you guys if that's okay. I mean, if you guys would be okay with that, I'd love to share it with you. If not, if you guys don't want to see that junk, I won't. But that's something that I would really like to share with you guys. It's an adventure, and for sure, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be neat. It's something that we've never done before, and I'm looking forward to it. So, anyway, I actually kind of went back and forth with myself about, I guess kind of what I would talk about, and if I would even talk about it at all, or even mention it, really, to be honest with you guys. And that's not because anything bad. It's just I didn't know, I guess, how it would be received from you guys. And, I don't want to do anything to upset the fam. So, I didn't want to do that at all. But I'm a worrywart at heart, obviously, as you guys can tell. But anyway, I feel like I'm in a very personal, uncomfortable space right now, and I'm going to move on to something else. I'll read the comments and see what you guys have to say about that. Anyway, let's see. Let's see. Laura needs to know that behind every good fisherman is a great wife. That is the truth right there, my friends. That is absolutely the truth. There's no doubt about that. Without a great wife, behind every good man is a great woman. I mean, it doesn't even have to do with fishermen. Behind every good man is a great woman. There's no doubt about that. And I have one of the greatest. She is an absolute trooper. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And the amount of time that she gives up for me to do what I do for you guys is astounding, or outstanding, astonishing, outstanding, all of those words. It is really a lot. And she gives up a lot of time so I can do this for you guys. So I would agree. Let's see. My wife reads a book when she's on my boat. Here we go. Heidi, at Heidi. Oh, I know that. Lots of laughs. He wouldn't be wired if it weren't for me. Yeah, so that's exactly right. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my wife. My wife told me, she said, hey, you need to, if you're going to go fishing every weekend, you need to get a video camera and record it. And she said, you know so much. She said, people would love to see and talk and know some of the things you know. And it's like, yeah, okay. And she bought me my first GoPro. So if it weren't for her, we wouldn't be here tonight. We wouldn't be the Wired fam. So anyway, thank you to her. I love her to death. And she's right. So why she's got to put a monkey symbol after that, I'm not really sure. But there's a monkey doing something. I don't know what that means. She loves you enough to go fishing with you. I think that might be where she draws the line, Scott. Maybe. That might be where she draws that line. That's funny. John says, got here late. What's topic tonight? Need help on side view. Screen speed is 1 to 10 miles per hour. Yes, get the wife wired. So good question, John. What are you running? Are you running Lowrance? Well, it doesn't even matter. So typically you want your screen speed, if you're talking about, actually you're running Humminbirds because screen speed isn't 1 to 10 on Lowrance. So my guess is you're running Humminbirds, and Garmin's I don't think is 1 to 10 either. It's fast, very fast, medium, and slow. So yeah, you're running Humminbirds. So on a bird, when you're running a bird, you want that to be the same as your speed. So if your idle speed is 4 mile an hour, John, you need to set that at 4 to 5. If your idle speed is 2, put it 2 to 3. Generally, you want it to be the same speed as your idle speed, because most of the time when you're looking side imaging, you're idling. If you idle at 4, put it 4 to 5. You always want it on that speed or maybe one higher, but that's it, okay? Now, I will say this. The slower you run your speed, the more definition you will get back, okay? The more definition you'll get on your screen. So if you're running 4, don't run it on 6 because you're not going to get a lot of definition back. So a common mistake that I see from a lot of people is they run their screen speed too high, and you just don't get it. It doesn't have enough time to get those waves, a lot of those waves back to the transducer, and you don't get as clean of an image. So again, if you're having image issues, maybe slow your speed down a little bit, guys. Try slowing your scroll speed down a little bit. Maybe you'll get a little bit better picture. Heidi says, that sounds so cool, Matt. My wife, making of the wired space. Yeah. We're going to have a studio down there and everything. It's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot. Gosh, it's a lot. And it's going to be a lot. But, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to GC the whole thing. I'm going to be general contractor, and it's going to be a lot. So, 2021 is going to be a whirlwind, guys. We got wired stuff. We got a lot of wired stuff going. We've got Crappie Cove. We've got Crappie Academy. We've got shows. We got guide trips. We got work. We got family. We got house. We got, oh, man, it's going to get busy. It's going to get very busy. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. 2021 is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it. 2021 is going to be, we're going to kick it off right. Okay. That's part of the reason we're doing a giveaway on the 1st. We're going to do a giveaway. We're going to talk about 2021. We're going to talk about what's coming, what's going to happen, what to look forward to. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a cool 2021. And it's going to be so busy. It's going to be busy enough to knock my head off, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. Larry said the 10-acre lot for me. The 10-acre lot next to me is for sale. Man, I hear you, Larry, but you're down there in Dayton, and I ain't going to Dayton. I love you, buddy, but I ain't going to Dayton. Anyway, Heidi says that would be great to follow. Chad Hillard, I'm proud of you, man. Sounds awesome, Matt. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be in debt up to my friggin' eyeballs and ears and everything. I'm going to be up, but it's going to be fun. I guess. It's going to be fun. Love to share it. Love to share in that joy with you, Karen says. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, Major Brown, what's up, Major? Congrats, Matt and Laura. It will be fun. Just get what you want and do not settle for anything less. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Marshall says, that's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Good luck on building. You will be fine. I built 2 homes and still married to the same woman. That's what I've heard. Like, I've heard people have said, you want to get divorced, build a house. I mean, I've been told that. People have said that. Like, you want to get divorced, build a house. It's like, oh, crap. Really? Okay. Well, that's fun. So I'm glad to hear you say that, Scott. And the worst thing is I'm GCing the thing. So, that's even worse because then all the questions come to me. There's no general contractor to in between. So, all the questions will in lie with me and everything will in lie with me, scheduling and everything. So it's going to be a very busy, very hectic year, but it's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for my kids to have, everything that they deserve and my wife to have everything that she's deserved. So, she's going to have a 6x14. It's 8x14. It's going to be an 8-foot by 14-foot walk-in closet. It's going to be all hers. She's going to be loving it. So, she's always wanted a huge walk-in closet for everything. She's going to have that, by golly. So, anyway, it's very, very exciting, very fun, very scary, but we're gonna jump all in. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it doesn't blow up in our face, but we'll see what happens. Major, you're getting me in trouble. Tom says, love to see, but I'm going to be super jealous. Hey, don't be jealous, Tom, because trust me, I'm going to be in debt like here, like up here, not even in it's not even going to be in visibility. I mean, it's going to be way up here, but I'm young. I figure what the hey, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. But nonetheless, it's going to be an adventure for me and my family. So I'm looking forward to it. Tyler says, if you need an electrician, holler at me. Thank you, Tyler. I may do so. Again, shoot me an email so I have your information. Heidi says, we are right here with you all the way. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate it. Fishing with Camo Joe says, relax, bro. Man, it's weird for me, guys. It really is. It's weird for me to share that I guess personal side of things I can share crappie all day. I can talk crappie all day, but that personal side of things, I guess, it is. You see these people get out there and they just blurt out stuff, and it's just like, okay, oof. All right, we're gonna step into it. We're gonna ease into it and see. And if you guys like it, then great. If you don't, then I won't do it anymore. But I feel like we're a family, like everybody says, the Wired fam. This is what we do. So anyway, we are losing people steadily, so we're going to get through some of these comments and we're going to call it. But would be fun to follow. Building the crappie pad. That's great. Would enjoy. Late night, missed last week. Happy to be back. See a new tournament partner in the making. Talking about my wife. My wife will never fish a crappie tournament with me, I can assure you. If I can get her on the boat to catch one, we'll be lucky. But I don't think tournament fishing's in her future. Jamie Nelson said, great tip on chart speed. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. Chart speed key. We just learned that made huge difference with our Humminbird. There you go. That's right, Karen. Great live tonight, Matt. Good night. God bless. Good night, Ashley. Major Brown said, Happy New Year, everyone. Stay safe later. Later, Major Brown. All right, guys. We are going to call it. We're going to say good night. I appreciate y'all for joining. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the information that went out tonight. Watch out for our video coming out this week. I appreciate it again for everything you guys do. I will not be talking to you guys for New Year's, so Happy New Year's to everyone. Hope you have a great New Year's Eve, great New Year. Hopefully you get out and go fishing. I'm going to try to kick my New Year's off with a day of fishing, and we will see you guys New Year's Day about 9:00. We'll do a live, do the giveaway for the giveaway prizes. Don't miss that. Be there. Josh Sanders says Steve Klink scale. Good night. Sorry, Josh, again. I apologize. But anyway, we will see you guys later. We're signing off. Thank y'all again for being a part of this, for a part of the Wired fam, and we will see you guys later. Have a good night. God bless, guys.